I'm sorry. Was that Alyssa singing that song?
No, that was Jerry Hale. #vegan. That was not me.
Oh, the song is called #vegan?
Yeah. No, maybe it was Lindsay.
You guys, we have a guest.
Special guest. Woo! Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We are so excited to have our very first guest on Lower Your Voice Pod.
Well, it's our first like full-time guest because we did have like a mini guest, Jeff. We forced Jeff to do it one time when he came home.
You're our first voluntary guest. He was involuntary.
Yeah, our first non-hostage guest and one that's going to stick around for the entire time.
He answered 2 questions and walked away.
Well, let me tell you, it is an honor to be here today.
Yay! Woo-hoo! We're so excited. So Alyssa and I have been tossing around the ideas of like bringing people on, friends on, especially ones that kind of have something that we could actually talk about because we do have a lot of boring friends as well.
Only interesting friends.
And you were the first one we thought of.
Really?
Yeah.
God, that's hard to believe. The most interesting thing I have to offer is that I have dietary restrictions.
Well, you're like an enigma. It's like interesting to us. It's like going to the zoo and meeting a new animal there, you know?
Yes. Lindsay, we invite you around just to stare at you and ask questions.
Which zoos are totally not vegan.
So our vegan song, why we brought Lindsay on, is we have a ton of questions because obviously Alyssa and I are not vegan.
Yes.
No, and we literally were writing questions down to ask you. And some of them might seem totally stupid, but we're going to ask them anyway.
We just think it's important to get, an opinion about something that is becoming extremely popular. And, a lot of people are vegans nowadays. But I know for me, and I'm sure for a lot of listeners, like we don't know a whole lot about it. And it's not just like the destination, it's the journey that we're curious about, So we said that we weren't going to be educational and inspirational. So today we were going to be edumacational.
Edumacational. We're going back on our word. We never said we were telling the truth.
No, we're not being educational. We're being edumacational.
Edumacational.
Yes, it's different.
It is different.
So aside from that, Lindsay has been a friend of mine for a very, very long time. She's an absolute angel and a sweetheart. And, we actually asked her to do this on Monday and she couldn't. And why did you say you couldn't?
Oh, I volunteer with a childcare thing down in Delray.
She's a saint.
So she's basically perfect and we're trash. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So really quickly, how has that experience been? I know we were talking about it a little bit, but.
I don't get a lot of experience around children. And now that I'm married, I'm like, I should probably see if I like kids,
Let's try this. Let's do some damage on kids that are not mine.
It's a trial run. It's a test run. Yeah. So it's good. It's rewarding, but it is exhausting and it can be really tough. But no, I actually I look forward to going. When I come back, I have bugs in my hair and I'm covered in dirt and children have just sneezed in my face. And so it's opened my eyes to a lot of things.
Just don't open your eyes when they sneeze in your face.
My immune system has really been benefiting from this.
I think that's how you get the monkeypox. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Sneezing in the eyeballs.
Yes.
We'll see.
Well, I think it's really great that you volunteer your time and give a piece of yourself to these kids that, need help. So that's really, really awesome.
Thank you.
Now, aside from that, obviously, like we said, you're a vegan. So we're very, very interested in this. So first, let's start off with the difference between veganism, vegetarians, and plant-based. Like, is there actually a difference between the three?
Yeah, definitely. So vegans, essentially, they abstain from anything that comes from animal exploitation. Mm-hmm. So when you're vegan, before you eat something, you ask yourself, has this in any way came from the exploitation of animals? Okay. Is it like even honey, eggs came from animals, milk, all that kind of stuff. Then vegetarian is nothing has directly died to make this meal. Okay. So, there's no meat in this equation, but they can eat eggs, they can eat cheese, they can eat, dairy. And then plant-based, you can be a carnivore or an omnivore and still eat plant-based because it's just basically saying that, you have things that are more originated from plants. So that's more so like a description of a food rather than a lifestyle, I think.
Got it.
So if I lived in the middle of a farm and I had cows and chickens and all of that stuff, and they're not being exploited per se, like, because you see these videos and I've watched these documentaries and I get about 2 seconds in and I can't. But if I'm like, have this farm and I have all my chickens and they're all happy and I'm getting eggs from them, and I'm not eating meat, but I'm doing, the milk from the cows and stuff like that, I'm not a vegan anymore, even though it's like kind of a more humane way.
Right. It's a lifestyle preference in that regard. Like, for example, when Renee's chickens start laying eggs, I might have eggs.
Yeah.
Because I'll know where they come from and I know no cruelty has been involved in the process.
Right.
But that also comes back to your reason for being vegan. So there's, from my understanding, and I'm not, the end all be all of this, is you go vegan for 3 reasons, one of 3 or all of them. And it's environmental, or it's health, or it is for the animals. So they say like an ethical vegan.
Yeah.
So if you have your own animals, you might still choose to be vegan because of the dietary reasons, because, high cholesterol and there's dairy can cause a lot of skin problems and inflammation.
Yeah.
But if it's for animal, like ethical reasons or environmental, you might be able to see that your carbon footprint is really small. These animals are experiencing no cruelty. So it might still align with your values.
Okay.
How long have you been a vegan?
It was a gradual transition for me. I went from like vegetarian to vegan, and I know I've been vegetarian for 3 years, and I think I've been vegan for over 2.
Okay. How did it all start?
So I started with vegetarian, and I was telling myself, like, it doesn't make any sense that I'm not vegetarian because I love animals. So through that multi-step process, I was still supporting an industry, supporting something that I didn't at the time value support. So then I was like, okay, this isn't so hard. And then I cut things out one by one. My last thing to go was eggs, because it's really hard to replicate like sunny side up eggs. That's not really a thing yet for vegans. Everything else you can pretty much replace. And Alyssa, I hope you don't base your understanding of vegan cooking on what I've given you. Because that would not be good. But no, it was gradual, and it wasn't that hard. It's just little by little.
So, but let's backtrack a little bit more. So like, obviously you ate meat at one point. Did you always feel guilty eating meat, or was there a point where like wasn't on your radar and then like you saw something? Like, what introduced you to this thought pattern?
You're right. It was like once I started opening my mind to that and like becoming aware, it's like you crack that door a little bit. Like you said, Genesis, you look at that documentary you look at the preview and your brain starts going, you're asking questions and you're like, how is this okay?
Yeah.
Like,
if I don't see it, I don't know.
Yeah. Ignorance is bliss, essentially.
Exactly. And then of course with social media today, you Google one damn thing and then you're getting just spammed with all this information about PETA and veganism and like the horrors of the meat industry and the agribusiness and how awful it is for this planet. And so it's like, you can't even avoid it anymore.
You know what's so crazy though is, I don't know if you've ever watched the Netflix documentary Rotten, but if you haven't, it's amazing. It's all about corruption in the food industry overall, not just like animals, but there's corruption in every single thing that we touch and eat.
Oh yeah, it has the honey episode. It has
yeah, they did the bees, they did avocados, they did peanuts, onions. I mean, like literally everything that we eat has like the blood of young children in a third world country's hands on it. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
wow.
Yeah,
it's true.
I could see it 100%.
It's like you got to pick, are you exploiting animals or human beings or both?
Right.
Yeah. Because then if you try to cover all of those, like, to be honest, if you try to cover all of those bases, right, of the humans, the animals, all of that, like, what are you left with?
Absolutely nothing.
Unless you have your own farm.
Exactly.
And you know how to do it, all of this stuff, you're kind of just like, all right, well, these are my...
A lot of vegans primarily purchasing organic products because you know that they're coming from a better farm that maybe isn't, practicing exploitation like we see with some of these other things.
Yeah, there's like eggs that are free range and all of that. Like, does that really make a difference?
It's becoming wider known that it's kind of a gray area. So I think free range is good.
Yeah.
But then when they say cage free, it just means that they're packed in a facility.
Right.
Walking on their dead kin and It's awful. But, and then there's like another one, and it's just doing your research, seeing what this lingo actually means in real life.
Yeah, because from like that, and that's why I was like so excited about you coming on, because like, especially with eggs, right? So we know that like an egg is not, I guess, technically not a baby chicken because it has to be fertilized. Mm-hmm. Oh, her eyebrows are going up and down. Yeah. I'm about to be schooled.
You're right. It's not like a fertilized egg. It's just like an,
but it's also, I guess it kind of goes beyond that. It's about the treat, which is why you said you could possibly think about it with, you know, our friend has now chickens and going to be having eggs. So it's a possibility for you because, you know, the treatment of the mother of the chicken.
The
mother is better than if you were to buy a pack of eggs at Publix, because that's where it kind of starts, is the treatment of the animals. Maybe not necessarily like getting the milk or like the actual physical milk or the physical egg, but it's the treatment of the animals.
It's the funding of an industry. And, you know, like I've known people who worked in these places, and little baby chickies are born, thrown on a conveyor belt. They're getting stuck in things. Their heads are being ripped off. And the little boy chickies are immediately thrown to shredders. So the egg industry.
Oh God, I know. She went.
Yeah, just like that's. I don't know if that's what they sound like. But no, it's supporting an industry that survives off that kind of violence and that, you know, treatment of life. And
so now, is it safe to say like that eggs are probably the only byproduct of an animal that's like safe? It's not harmful to the animal. Like with cows, for example, milk 90% of the time could not be done in a like animal friendly way because they have to give birth in order to make milk, and we're stealing their baby's milk.
Wait.
I love that you know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the only way to make milk is like a woman getting pregnant, having a baby.
Well, I know it was like female cows, but I didn't know that they literally would have to get, I don't know.
And
they inseminate them, and then they steal their babies and they make veal. And then the mom stands there crying hysterically, like, where's my baby at? And then they stick these metal things on her boobs and suck all the milk out of them.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know.
I don't know why I just assumed that like female cows just made milk.
A lot of people do. A lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know all this and I still drink it. So what's wrong with me? I'm clearly a psychopath.
What fascinates me is this whole movement about like oat milk and almond milk. You know, the whole, it's not your mom, it's not your milk.
Right.
Those same people eat cheese and ice cream. And I'm like, do you know where that comes from?
Right.
That's milk.
So I think, you know what? Well, we'll take the strides in the right direction, but it's like, we're only doing half of the work here.
Right.
So,
well, it becomes a fad essentially. And people are more accepting of like oat milk or almond milk because they like the flavoring. But I think that people still have a hard time giving up like cheese and ice cream.
Right.
Cheese is, I mean, it's addicting. It's full blown addiction.
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, I probably could, but I can't.
I cannot.
Ice cream I could give up. Milk I could probably give up. I mean, every once in a while I want like a bowl of cereal. I think milk I can give up. But you put a charcuterie board in front of me and I will do whatever you want.
Oh, wow.
Did you watch that video I sent you?
Yes, I did. I know you said you watched it like 600 times.
There was this video of a comedian and it's two comedians and they're arguing over which is better, bread and butter or a charcuterie board. And it's only a small clip. I didn't watch the whole episode, but I watched it like 7 times and I was dying laughing because they're just arguing over bread and butter and charcuterie.
2 of Genesis' favorite things.
Yeah. How does this apply outside of food for you too, though? Does it? Are you a no leather?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it gets fuzzy too, because I've made purchases before I went vegan and I'm like, well, I throw all this stuff out. And then it gets into the topic of like, you want to not create waste. So like I have a cowskin rug.
Yeah.
And it's awful, but it's there. You know, I'm not going to throw it away and someone else had, you know, so.
Yeah.
But
what
yeah,
color is
my
it?
purchases, it's like
I may have a spot in it.
Oh my God. No.
Is it bad that I was thinking the same thing? Like, wait a minute.
But it drives our purchases. But it's been like kind of fun because me and Mike have discovered all these brands that are really ethically conscious. And like he just bought all these new shoes from this beautiful leather vegan brand. And they're clean and beautifully designed and they're really hardy. And so it pushes you to leave your comfort zone and find things that align with your values.
Yeah. So let's talk about Mike a little bit.
I was just going to say.
Because I don't know if you know that he's also vegan, but he was not vegan.
He's not vegan.
He's not vegan anymore?
He's mostly vegan, but he is technically a vegetarian.
Okay. So Lindsay's husband is a vegetarian.
I discovered this at your wedding because we felt so bad because every time like the appetizers that he could eat would come around, the plate would be empty. And I think I believe it was it Megan? Megan, I think, had like a granola bar. Yeah, because you came up after and she was like, here. And so he's eating this like granola bar. And we're like, we'll try to stop the appetizers. We'll try to stop the appetizers for you.
Yep.
That's how I found out. So when you guys met, was he some sort of vegetarian?
No, we were both like full blown normal omnivores. And then we moved into this new place. Yeah, technically. So we moved into this place and, I do all the cooking.
Yeah.
And when I transitioned, then he's only eating, vegan when I cook. And he realized that his only meal that wasn't vegan was like lunch. He'd get like tuna on top of something. And so he just cut that out and he's been fine. But in times where he's at a restaurant and they have like something with cheese in it, he's not going to send it back.
Right.
So he's technically vegetarian. Yeah.
So he did it more for the dietary reasonings of convenience at the beginning.
Yeah.
And now you have
because it was happy wife, happy life.
Right. Well, granted, now the saint of a man he is, he will thank me regularly for making him aware of this.
Aww.
So like he's in it too. Like his heart is in it too. Because guys, I know when you drive on the street and you see a dead dog or cat on the side of the road, don't you want to go home and hug your animal?
Yeah.
And you're like, I will never let anything like that happen to you.
Yeah.
That's how, and I was like, that's what's happening. Like there are animals feeling the same kind of fear that your animals are capable of. Like there's no line.
Yeah.
And we're like letting it happen. And it killed. You've seen fear in Sasha's eye. Can you imagine like billions of animal every day? Like it makes your mind go. And he gets it too. He loves our animals and he doesn't want anything to feel that kind of terror.
What did you see as like the biggest change? Like I want a two-parter, like physically and mentally. Like, was there a huge shift? Because I did keto for a really long time. Which ones did you see first?
And I like that you mentioned that different diets work for different people. And you're right. Like, for example, my little sister, she was the first one of us to go vegan, Bridget. And it started messing with her stomach a lot because it was really heavy in like beans and grains and everything. And so now she does eat meat sometimes and but that's why you often see people who are vegan for the dietary reasons. They're not usually long term. It's like the environmentalists or the ethical that really stick with it. But as far as like changes, one thing I thought was really cool is Mike had alopecia under his like chin. He had like this weird bald spot. And when he cut out dairy, it went away.
Wow.
Yeah. And also he has eczema like on his hands or whatever it's called. Sorry, I don't know, but cleared up immensely. Me, I don't know. I've never really like gotten like I don't really gain weight very easily or anything like that. But like
you're skinny mini
with yoga and being vegan, I just stay really thin. And he lost a lot of weight too.
Yeah.
He broke his shoulder. He got a little chubby, and he knows this. and he went vegan, and it like melted off. So
now, what about mentally? Did you notice a shift in that? Like,
that's a good question. No, people are like, I never have energy when I'm vegan. I'm like, I never had energy, period. Ever. Like I never. So, like
I downed 3 Red Bulls and a couple coffees and I still don't have energy. So don't come at me with that.
And people will say, oh, when I brew so easily or whatever, I have no difference whatsoever. But everyone's different.
Yeah. But there is like some truth to that too. Like when you're so in tune with your body, like you know what happens when you put certain things into your body. Like when I have a greasy burger, I want to take a nap afterwards. But like when I have all fruits and vegetables, like I feel the nutrients like entering my body. Like I feel like I can eat them like limitlessly, I can
you don't feel bloated.
Not at all. Not at all. Unless you like, cover it with grease and butter, then that's a different story. But for the most part, like I feel instant energy go into my body when I eat this stuff.
When you say that, it reminded me, I used to get like really bad bloating,
Mhm.
like painful. I remember like going out to eat with Mike and we were just like dating and I bloated so much that I was like, I don't think I can wear my pants anymore. So it was like,
Like doing
That's
a little
on a daily basis.
Yeah, you
What do
doing
you
a little
mean?
unbutton under the table?
That's
was
why
like-
I wear leggings.
yeah, it was like debilitating. Like at least once a week, I would have to like stretch out on the floor because my stomach would hurt so bad. Like almost never now. Almost never.
Oh. So what's like your go-to dish to make?
I am such a lazy vegan. I love that I can just talk about this stuff right now.
I
But
know.
it's so much fun. Pasta.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you make pasta, you throw in some vegetables and put some sauce on it.
Mhm.
And there's so many fake meats too. You can make like with the Beyond Meat crumbles, a really hearty bolognese. I made one with like lentils and balsamic the other day. It was super good. But pastas are really easy. You can buy stuff at like Publix and stick it in the microwave and it's
Yeah.
ready to
Well,
go.
it's definitely become more readily available.
Yes.
I'm not going to lie. I've had Impossible Burgers and they were actually really good. I'm going to admit something. I love the Impossible Burger from Burger King.
You do?
I do. I know. Don't look at me
I
with
won't
those
try
judgy
it.
eyes.
I won't try it.
Don't look at me with those judgy eyes. But if I get like this like crazy craving for like fast food, an Impossible Burger from Burger King and with their onion rings,
That's a vegan meal. Good for you.
bomb.
Mm.
Bomb.
Okay. You know, the only I guess it is vegan patty that I like is from BurgerFi, the vegetarian one, not the like fake meat one. The one that's like quinoa.
Yeah.
And
Duffy's used to have a really good black bean burger. And I had a friend that worked at Duffy's and she said they actually made them there. But they took them off the menu and they replaced it with like a Impossible or Beyond Meat or whatever.
yeah, sometimes I feel like, you know, don't try to make something like an imitation. Like do something unique. Do something that's your own, because sometimes it just doesn't taste like the original thing.
Yeah. People are
You
like,
know.
this doesn't taste like meat. And they're shocked. And it's like,
Yeah.
well,
Well, it's not meat.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I feel like you have to like desensitize yourself or like constantly eat it. So it's like it tastes like shit. You keep eating it until it doesn't taste like shit anymore. But you're saying the Burger King one is good?
Yeah. I mean, but who knows if they're lying to us and it's just a real patty and they're just like,
literally-
impossible.
They're
When-
just serving it to
when
you.
Beyond Meat first came out, me and Mike every week would be like, they're lying to us. Like, we're going to find out that this whole time they're lying because it was just so unbelievable. It was just,
Yeah.
you had tofu, seitan, how you say it in tempeh, basically.
Mhm.
Now it's like this whole world has opened up to
Well,
us.
yeah. And they like cook it and it's still like a burger and it's still like red inside and it's like the blood, quote unquote, blood like
juicy.
comes
so
out.
weird.
Yeah.
Speaking of Beyond Meat, this is a great segue. Kim Kardashian recently just posted that she's part of a new campaign.
How do you feel that Kim Kardashian is now your spokesperson?
The more people, the better. They're friends of mine.
Yeah. Well, because Kourtney has been doing it for a while. She
Oh, I
just,
didn't know that.
yeah. It's always been a joke with her, though. I think, like, if you watch the show, I had asked you before we started recording, and I asked if you watched the Kardashians because Alyssa and I watch it. It's our guilty pleasure trash.
Love it.
But she always got made fun of because she was always like, no, like everything's super, super clean. She posts her matcha teas that she makes all the time. Like she's very like strict about the kinds of foods that she has in the house. Her and Kim got into a huge fight over the birthday party for the kids because it was going to be Candyland themed. And Kourtney didn't want normal candy. She wanted like all organic and like fruit. And Kim was like, it's
She's a
candy.
real poosh.
Yeah. Kim was like, it's Candyland. Like you can't have a Candyland party without it. But anyway, so she's been about it. And now I guess Kim is hopping on the bandwagon. and
Is
she's-
Kim actually a vegan now? I know that she dabbles in it, but I don't think she's a vegan.
I don't think no way. She wears too much leather
Oh, good point.
Yes,
Yeah.
very good point.
and all that. So I think maybe she's like a vegetarian or a fake vegetarian, like, or it's just every couple meals. It could, like what you said, it could just be like a couple meals every once in a while just to like feel better.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel was like the hardest thing to give up?
Eggs.
Eggs?
Yeah. I used to get those sunny side up eggs at a Howley's. Remember? I know.
Yes. I love.
But
Shout out I love Howley's.
I know they're good.
Do
But
you not like Howley's?
I do. I haven't been there in a really long time. I was always obsessed with going there because they had the Amanda Valdez mural outside.
Yes.
And I would go there just for the mural, which is so weird. But
No, I love Howie's.
I just pulled up the article about Kim Kardashian, and she's being publicly skewered for taking 0 bites of the food and appearing to fake chew in her new Beyond Meat ad. I believe so much in this mission of Beyond Meat that I've stepped in to help with my greatest asset, my taste. The reality star said in the vegan company's 30-second commercial. So it debuted Tuesday on Instagram. For those of you that haven't seen, Kim is eating this burger. She makes the most amazing face, like, so delicious, but they're saying that it looks like she doesn't even eat it. So I don't know. We shall see. I don't even know what this brand is, but you know what's so funny about this? Like, she did this to try to promote it. Nobody remembers the name of the company. All they're doing is like talking about her doing it.
Well, they're roasting her. I mean, they did. That's good marketing though. Like you throw Kim Kardashian in it. She's like what everybody's talking. Well, right now everyone's talking about Kourtney and Travis's wedding.
Yeah, their wedding. Have you seen the pics?
Maybe 1 or 2.
Insane.
They were all in Dolce & Gabbana. Every single person at the wedding.
Oh, all of their outfits.
Mm-hmm.
Chloe is wearing a full-blown crown.
I didn't see that picture.
Oh yeah, it was a. So she got married in Italy. And yeah, they were all in head to toe Dolce & Gabbana.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Short corset-esque dress, wedding dress.
I'm gonna
very
you're
long
explaining
veil.
it. I'm gonna pull it up for her.
I saw what he was wearing. It was like a full length.
It looked like he was like a pope.
Right.
No, well, I think that was like the day before. He wore a suit. He wore a Dolce & Gabbana suit.
Mm.
You know what she looks like?
Wow.
She looked like Madonna from when she
like
a virgin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So she wore the white dress during the ceremony, and then for the party, she changed into a black dress with the Virgin Mary. Right? Was it Virgin Mary?
Yeah.
In the middle? Oh, I see the crown now. Are you showing it to her?
Yeah.
With the
Travis
veil?
Barker's a vegetarian or a vegan too.
No way.
Yeah.
No wonder he's so skinny.
Yeah.
He's a skinny manny.
It really, it's unless you eat just only processed food and sweet foods, because there are fat vegans.
Oh yeah, I know them.
Oh yeah. So.
We're not naming any names, but
yeah, somebody I used to know tried to go vegan for a month because she thought that she was going to lose a bunch of weight, and she literally gained weight because all she did was eat pasta.
But wait, there's eggs in pasta.
So if you buy pasta made that doesn't have eggs in it, you're fine.
Yeah.
And there's so many things nowadays because there's so many food allergies that, you know, kids, egg, dairy. So there are so many products that like come already without that stuff in it. So it really makes it so much easier to be a vegan nowadays.
And Oreos. Oreos are vegan.
Yeah. They didn't used to be. They used to have pig lard in them.
Really?
Yeah. Of course you would know that.
Mm-hmm. But now
if I became a vegan, I would be living off Oreos. I would definitely blow up because I'd be like, okay, Oreos and pasta? All right.
It can be hard. Like, I miss Fruity Pebbles so much.
So why can't you? Because of the milk?
No,
because you could do nut milk. Yeah.
Because they use a certain derivative of sheep's wool for a vitamin replacement. It's like vitamin D.
All right, this is the end of the episode because she just ruined Fruity Pebbles for me.
No, I mean, like it's.
I loved you, Lindsay, and now just get out.
I miss it.
We're going back to Kardashians. Really? Wait, but sheep's wool?
Yeah, it's weird.
What is the most shocking thing besides Oreos for me? I think because you just assume like chocolate, but the cream. Mm-hmm. What is the most surprising thing that you found that's vegan? That's like not altered. It's not like fake, like Beyond Meat or something like that, but like in its pure form, like Oreos that you're like, oh, I would have never thought that was vegan. Is there anything that's like super surprising?
You can have really good sushi, like from Planta. They have all this sushi there where they dehydrate and rehydrate fruit. So it's whole foods and they have really like weird textures. Alyssa hates sushi, so she wouldn't like it anyway, probably. But
well, I had the sticky rice when we went.
Oh, right. With that
was good.
Yeah, that was good. So yeah, you can do most things.
And you won't do fish because the fish is being killed. Even
Right.
if it's like fresh caught.
And you know, it's funny too. People say, well, fish don't feel pain. And it's like, there's no scientific backing whatsoever.
Yeah, when was the
No
last time
one
you talked to a
knows.
fish?
Yeah, but it's like so commonly held that I even used to say that. And then I'm like, what sources am I citing here?
Well, and don't say that to Alyssa because she's obsessed with her fish.
I know.
Her fish tank. I think she's staring at it right
I
now.
am. As a fish mom, I know that they get spooked and then they get excited in the
Aw.
morning. They are so excited for me to come feed them. They're like swimming around going crazy. And then they stick their heads out of the water and like at me. They're so cute.
I know. I'm not going to bring it there.
What?
Just like imagine like a cow so excited to get fed. You're the only person who's been taking care of them because you're their caretaker. And instead you like
Kill them.
kill them. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're looking forward to seeing you. They trust you. And then, isn't that crazy? Like, I think that one day in centuries, we're going to look back and be like, what the hell were we doing?
Mhm.
Just like how we're like, duh, cigarettes are bad for you. It used to be so widely accepted. So women used to rub that, what was that glowing stuff that your radiation, it was radioactive.
Well, women
What are you
used to also
talking
like
about?
smoke while they were pregnant and have a martini.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was normal. But now we're like, what the hell? I think that's going to happen. I think one day we're going to look back and be like, what kind of sick, twisted people made that into such a huge event?
Well, I know that eating animals was vital to our survival in early human years. Because we were able to eat something that was very fattening, which would help getting through the winter.
Yeah, we weren't eating as often.
Right.
Right.
But at this point, we're just full-blown gluttons about it. And that's what's really sad but then there's also the issue of like the less people are eating, like all these animals are being produced to, handle the demand, and then the demand lessens. So then they have all these animals and they don't know what to do with them. So it's just all screwed
Yeah, because
up.
there's an overpopulation. Like I know, like in up north, they have seasons for hunting, and they encourage the hunting because
Population control.
because it almost becomes like, because then it actually starts eating like the deer and stuff like that will eat the farms and the produce and all of that, and so there has to be like some kind of control and like some kind of balance.
Yeah, I've heard of that too. And I've heard that argument where they're like, well, what would we do with all the cows? But like, that's no reason to continue feeding into the problem.
Right.
It's like, yeah, we have to find a solution to the damage we've already done. That's not an excuse to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so to wrap this up, did you watch Bad Vegan?
Not all of it. I don't know why it was called Bad Vegan. I assume that it wrapped it up at the end.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So one, because it was a vegan restaurant and she was vegan and she was preaching all of this vegan stuff. Do you want me to spoil it?
Yeah.
Okay. So they are found in her and the guy are found in a hotel room. And apparently when the cops came in, there were like Domino's pizza boxes everywhere. But she claims that those weren't hers, that they were his. But I think that like at the end of the day, like boils down is was she a vegan or was she not a vegan?
She was a fake vegan.
But she claims that she is. She says that he was the one eating all of the Domino's pizza. And that's how they found him actually, is through a Domino's order.
It's possible.
I didn't watch it, so I don't know what's going on right now.
Well, Lindsay's not a bad vegan. Lindsay's a good vegan.
She's a great vegan.
I eat honey sometimes though.
Oh,
for
shit.
accountability.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're here. We're here for you. I like your accountability. Hi, my name is Lindsay and I am a vegan, but I've eaten honey.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today and shining some light on a very important and interesting topic.
Yes. I've learned a lot. I mean, I don't know if I'm running to it just yet. Work on me a little bit more. But
I know you love animals. So like,
I
know
do.
When you're like ready for that, I feel like you would just, because there's so many options now. Like there's such great ice.
I think that's, it'll be different now that there's more options. Well, guys, that's all we have for this week. Thank you, Lindsay, so much for being here.
My pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me.
Please be sure to tune in every other Friday for a new episode. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Lower Your Voice Pod.
And head on over to loweryourvoicepod.com to check out our new merch. And make sure you're subscribing for notifications of new episodes. And don't forget to leave us a damn review.
Do it.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
We gonna take it